caught you, sir, having a look at her as she went strolling by. Now didn't your heart go boom, 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 boom? Didn't you hear a sigh? I warn you, sir, don't start to dream of her. Just bid such thoughts be gone, or it'll be boom, 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 boom. From then on, for once in love with Amy, always in love with Amy, ever and ever fascinated by her, set your heart afire to stay. Once you're kissed by Amy, tear up your list, it's Amy. Ply her with bonbons, poetry and flowers, moon a million hours away. You might be quite the fickle-hearted rover, so carefree and bold, who loves a girl and later thinks it over and just quits cold. But once in love with Amy, always in love with Amy, ever and ever, sweetly you'll romance her. Trouble is the answer will be that Amy'd rather stay in love with me. But Amy'd rather stay in love with me. Good morning, it's Thursday the 12th of November, and that song, Once in Love with Amy, was of course written by Frank Lesser. I say of course because who else could have written Rover, so carefree? That harmonic progression could not be anyone but Frank Lesser. Frank Lesser, of course, was the composer, lyricist of Guys and Dolls, that great big hit of 1950. And if you are to speak to my father, he will tell you, as a statement of fact, that Guys and Dolls is the greatest musical ever written. And I don't want to argue with my dad, particularly not on his birthday. Now, 27 years ago, I think I sang to him, "You can bet that the guy's turning 65. But I feel we've been there and done that. I was trying to think what I could do for Guys and Dolls today, but the problem with masterpieces is that there they are. They're marvellous. We all know they're marvellous. And there's not a lot to say about them that's very interesting. And meanwhile, every singer in the known universe has recorded the songs. So I didn't think I had anything particularly to add about Guys and Dolls. So I thought I'd talk about Frank Lesser's warm-up to Guys and Dolls, which was the show he wrote a couple of years before, in 1948, called Where's Charley? Now, Where's Charley is a musical version of Charley's Aunt, the farce. It starred the great Ray Bolger. Of course, you remember Ray Bolger as the Scarecrow in The Wizard of Oz, but he was a great Broadway star. One of the great dancer comedians, eccentric dancers. There was a whole slew of them at one point, Buddy Ebsen, but I don't know who there was after Dick Van Dyke. Whatever happened to the comedian dancers? Anyway, Where's Charley was a big hit, directed by the wonderful George Abbott, who shares my birthday. A few years before. It was a big hit, ran over 700 performances, but it's not very well known today, despite the fact that it was made into a major film, and there was a British production 10 years later starring Norman Wisdom. Now, we have a cast album of the British cast of Norman Wisdom, but unfortunately, because of union problems, there wasn't a Broadway cast album, so the score slightly dropped out of view, and you would think the movie would have kept it alive, but the movie, for other strange reasons, has never come onto video cassette or onto DVD, and is never shown on television. So it's really dropped out of sight. Whereas Charley, it's not a masterpiece, but I think it's got some very entertaining songs, and I thought it would be fun to do a few of them for you. Once in Love with Amy was the big second act showstopper. Ray Bolger apparently got the audience singing along as he cavorted all over the stage. Here are two numbers from Act 1 of Where's Charley? Someday they'll be wearing skirts way up to here. That's the second verse. I don't want to sing the second verse. Someday they'll have horseless carriages that fly. Horseless carriages, and someday they'll be roaring all about the sky. But who knows what that age of miracles will come to be. So meanwhile, darling, make a miracle and marry me. Someday they'll have stereopticons that move. Stereopticons appearing in cathedrals longer than the Louvre. But who knows when that great cultural event will shine. So meanwhile, darling, make a miracle and say you're mine. And I will see the wonders of the future in your eyes, brightly gleaming wonders that I challenge modern science to devise. Oh yes, I know that someday, after we've grown very, very old enough to bury someone rather bright, will cure the common cold. And someday, just a small white pill will feed our family. But meanwhile, let's have steak and kidney pie. And meanwhile, let's be sure our feet are dry. And meanwhile, darling, make a miracle and marry me. Here they come with the sunlight on the trumpets. Here they come with the banners flying high. In my throat I've a jumpy sort of feeling, and a bright gleam of pride is in my eye. Here they come with the clarinets a-wailing. Here they come rather bravely up the square, and I know in a moment I'll be cheering, and my fine Sunday hat will be high in the air for the new Ashmolean Marching Society and Student Conservatory Band. Yes, the new Ashmolean could have beat Napoleon with all those deadly instruments in hand. There are those who favour the Philharmonic flavour, but to me the finest in the land is the new Ashmolean Marching Society and Student Conservatory Band. Though they march only slightly out of tempo, though they play just a trifle out of tune, though there's just a suggestion in the oboe of the sound of a hound beneath the moon, though the trombone's a little independent and the drummer is not exactly choice, still the old college spirit is upon me, and I shout every time at the top of my voice for the new Ashmolean Marching Society and Student Conservatory Band. If you're analytical, sensitive or critical, you'll like it more the further back you stand. But for me it's bully, it satisfies me fully when I hear the thunder close at hand from the new Ashmolean Marching Society and Student Conservatory Band. from the oldest established permanent Jason show tunes in Crouch End. So a few little songs from Frank Lesser's Where's Charley? You might be wondering what this picture is behind me. The reflections, I mean, you can't really see it. It's a painting by the actor Edward Petherbridge of the Playhouse Theatre, where Fiddler on the Roof recently played, as did the Carjo Fall revival I worked on, and the production of Dolls, A Doll's House. So I have very fond memories of the Playhouse Theatre. But anyway, happy birthday, Ellis, and I'll see you all again tomorrow.